your book, your story, your journey. Rightcoach.ie.
Welcome to The Right Coach. My name is Dee, and this is Colin Ward. Colin, tell me about yourself.
So my name is Colin Ward. Principally, I work with A Quiet Voice, which is a podcast where I bring people on to talk about their journey in creative and spiritual healing, you could say.
Mhm.
And I also work with my wife to make a skincare company called Mayo. Ultimately, what drew me to work with Carl was I was beginning to deepen my work into opening men's circles and men's group facilitation. And I could sense that as I started doing my own work with those modalities, a lot of my past was kept percolating up to the surface. And the challenge was that I kept thinking that I had fixed that. Oh, I thought that I did that. Oh, I thought I integrated that. Oh, I thought that I knew that. And yeah, in truth, I was careful to choose a something that resonated with me in order to just dig deeper
Mhm.
into
Yeah,
those limiting beliefs, the past, whatever.
yeah. And I know I've heard some of your podcasts, so I know you've got magic with words. I've
Thanks.
heard the language, I've heard the flow, I suppose. Um,
Mm.
so I suppose one of my questions is why and how did you find out about Carl and the right coach?
How did I find out about Carl? I found out about Carl through a friend, actually.
Yeah.
Um, and I think what connected us is the fact that this friend Pork he saw that I was on the path towards being just practicing radical honesty and authenticity, and he knew that the work that I was doing with helping people deepen their creativity and bringing the voice to a quiet voice, and I think he just sensed that Carl and I would gel,
Mm,
and we did immediately.
mm,
Um, but I didn't think that I was going to be buying anything from him.
yeah.
And what was great was that he wasn't really selling anything.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, and I think ultimately what quality drew me to Carl is the fact that he's not interested in selling anything.
Mm,
And this means that and this is something that I work all the time to practice, though. I want to deepen more. I want to treat every relationship that I have with presence and not as if it's leading into a transaction of something.
yeah.
And yet, so often when I was talking with coaches I mean, just businesses and networking, you could call it networking, it turns, yeah, into work because you're like, oh, I'm not actually making friends. Now I'm like being sold something or I have to sell something. And with Carl, it just wasn't that way.
Yeah.
And we just connected and very quickly, like we were just helping each other. And that's what drew me to him. It's
Oh,
just that eventually it kind of was like, I always wanted to write a book. I always really enjoyed writing. I could tell that it was something my inner child really enjoyed, but that I was feeling a lot of blockages from.
mhm.
Um, I made the podcast A Quiet Voice to heal from a speaking perspective, and I was like, okay, now I just need to go back into the way that my angsty teenager would have healed, which is like, buckling down and typing or scratching away feelings and
Okay.
stories.
That's so interesting. So you find writing cathartic anyway. You like the process of writing and as an expression.
I did, or I do. Um, I don't think that I felt quite as much. I think that wasn't really accessible to me for a very long time.
Okay.
And one of the intentions that I had around working with Carl was to connect with that original catharsis,
Hmm.
um, because I knew that I had a lot of feelings that were there. It's just that I wanted to do something productive with it and,
Yeah, yeah.
create something with it. Um, I was blessed in that I had already started writing a book by the time I was working with Carl, so I had lots of things to review.
Yeah.
And the first thing that Carl was really delicate, I'll say, and yet insistent on, is that I was not really feeling or sharing how I was feeling in the writing. I think one time he told me that like he was like, "You are running around the house,
Yeah.
and I just want you to go into the house."
Yeah.
And I was painting a beautiful house, but I wasn't actually allowing myself to feel what was being needed to be felt. And yeah, that's a lid that when it came off wasn't exactly comfortable, but is extremely has been extremely well, not just cathartic, but like has had a lot of residual impacts on other work in my life.
It would, because like we all do it. We all find things to get distracted by. Oh, shiny thing. I'm not
Mhm.
going there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
did you go into the house?
I'm still working to go into the house.
Okay, okay. That's okay.
And the nice part is like, it's not like I gotta run in there all at once. Like
Exactly.
it's kind of like a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. But I found that like I thought that I needed to impress people with how well I can write.
Yeah,
And in truth, the most impressive thing about me is how I can feel. Like the most instructive thing that I could give to anybody would be just to feel. And and that's not what I was doing before I was working with Carl. Like
yeah.
I was not writing to feel, I was writing to impress somebody. And
Interesting.
so I was getting blocked in the needing to impress because I was like getting lost away, getting detached from the original thing that was causing me to write in the first place.
The feeling.
Um, feeling. Yeah, feeling.
That is so
So
interesting.
it
Yeah.
is, yeah. I found that like, yeah, it was the hardest thing ever.
Mm,
I had so many different practices along this journey, like getting up at 6, 7 in the morning, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna write 1,000 words today. And then I would show up, and then I would be like, Carl, I didn't do it every day of the week. And then he was just a kind, compassionate presence. There's just like, okay, let's just notice how you're judging yourself, or what is coming up. And sometimes it wasn't about writing the book. Sometimes it was about my process around writing the book. And and then the one thing that I'm very, very, very grateful for is a lot of the work that I've done this year has culminated into a very, very challenging month for me,
mm.
and in which everything was very, very just tense, and I felt like was going through a lot of transformation very quickly and feeling a lot. Let's just say feeling the lid had been off, and now shit was just flying out everywhere. Excuse my language. And I had forgotten that I had a meeting with Carl, and
Okay.
then we ended up talking, and it wasn't about the book. Now it was just about having that continual presence who knew where I was in January, knew where I was last year, and could just sort of ground me in in the lineage of my healing journey. And that's one thing that like I didn't have before.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like one example that I could use is like sometimes I would have like an altar, like I have an altar in my window,
Yep.
and I love to go around and connect to shiny objects, like you said. But what really I could connect with like Carl's presence is that I need the altar just to remind myself of all the work that I'm doing. It's
Mm.
not there to show off. Come see my fancy altar. Like, no. And so Carl was just that grounding presence through the whole year where he was like, okay, now you're here. You were there. Now you're here. You were there. And
Yeah.
I don't have that perspective always. And that was a big gift.
It's the witness energy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Brilliant.
Witness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do so much work on ourselves. Sometimes we don't see it, as you said. We totally miss it. And to have that person to go, hey, A, B, C, and D. And
Mhm.
yeah, very good. So out of all of that, would you recommend the Right Coach services?
Yeah. I would recommend it to a person that is dealing with writer's block. I
Hmm.
would recommend it to a person that has a past that they don't really want to delve into,
Yeah,
or has some fear about it. Or I'd recommend it to a person that is working through a lot of healing modalities and just keeps finding the same thing keeps coming up.
yeah,
Because that's where I was anyway.
yeah,
I don't know if the work is for everybody, because it does take discipline and it takes Um, it takes writing, which takes time and energy. And yet at the same time, that's where I was. And I certainly wouldn't hesitate to recommend it to a close friend that I knew was in a place to do this work. It's powerful, powerful stuff that Carl was working with.
Mm,
And it's a simple medicine that has a lot of power.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, I'm I am where I'm at in my book is that I'm probably like 150, 175 pages in or
yeah,
something. It will be published, self-published, published with a company. We'll see.
yeah.
But really where I'm at is that I can look back on my past without that sort of visceral feeling of pain and fear, and now I can see it more from an introspective place,
Plus,
which
you're
is
you're still writing your story as well.
oh sure, of course, yeah.
Exactly. So you've got
Yeah.
another couple of hundred pages to write there.
I don't know. It's got to be done sometime, you know. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Oh, listen, thanks a million for having a chat with us today. And
100%.
I look forward to seeing your future creations, whatever they look like.
Thanks, me too. Thank you, Dee. Yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Your book, your story, your journey. Writecoach.ie